Hello, I'm Isra Nocturia, a cosmic shade VTuber who works as a world builder, or you could say both as an artist and a writer in the Library of Stars. And I would like to go from world builder to storyteller, as I would love to share the stories of the characters and the worlds that I create. However, I'm still learning how to do that. So, why am I here now? Well, I want to share characters without a story behind, just their lore. And which OC is better than the one who reminded me that writing is overall for your own enjoyment. You should find joy in what you write. And you know that the judgment of others should not matter while writing down stuff for fun. I will be drawing the character I'm talking about in the background, so you have something to look at other than my face. And a premise. Characters can start as anything. In this case, he started as a Genshin Impact OC. Well, to be specific, a Dottore segment OC. Kind of, let's say. Originally, Quasar, or Polaris B, was part of the cosmic bubble, place where I, alongside Umbral and Polaris, hail from. However, after pissing me off, I very kindly sent him into an iteration of Genshin Impact. You can call this a canon divergence, AU. Per personal choice and for at least an attempt at keeping some lore coherency to the game, because the senders do change the fate of the Vat by just existing, as shown in the game, his celestial body was turned into the insides of a scrapped segment made by the character Il Dottore, taking the name of the writer or writer for short. I didn't really bother on removing powers from him. That's why he could be defined as overpowered in a way. But I did not forget to put him in shackles. So let me tell you about them. The shackles start from his inability to leave the vat. He has always been narcissistic, way more self-centered than his sibling, Polaris, the one who works with me. However, Polaris, unlike a writer, knows how to do his job. If Polaris is a working compass, writer is a broken one. He is unable to turn north, nor follow the magnetic poles of a planet. Rather, he will follow his own selfish and hedonistic desires. And as someone who sees themselves above others by so much, he surely does hate being confined with creatures he finds inferior. And speaking of hedonism, a thing about us cosmic creatures is that alongside the ability to shapeshift our celestial body, we can choose what we feel. Of course, writer, as far as I know, had a sensorial system very similar to that of a human. However, he did make sure to feel pleasure even in the most painful circumstances. I blocked this ability. His body, between segment shell and celestial now, can only feel the sensation of touch, contact, in a neutral manner. He no longer feels pleasure. He can no longer feel pain. He can only feel the sensation of a foreign object, but nothing else. And to add to that, let's add salt to the wound, right? He no longer can feel how he wants. Well, he neither can act how he wishes. I have some control over him. For what I stated beforehand, he despises being trapped. And well, if he despises being trapped, he surely does despise me having an influence on the strings of his own puppet body. Of course, if he behaves in a way that I see fit, I will not pull on the strings as much. That is only right, for I wish for him to behave the way I want him to, and not fully on how he wants. Illusion of free will, you may say. In addition, I also turn his powers dependent on both a catalyst and vocal incantation, so that I, of course me, can deny their usage. Obviously, I do find the usage of his power at a set weaker level interesting, so I let him use them more often than not. However, I also do enjoy seeing him beg sometimes. Seeing Writer beg for his own powers, the essence of his being, is truly amusing, to be fair. And one last thing. His mask is the only thing that allows him to act in a way that is not his true self. The mask keeps his soul hidden. Let's say that in this situation, the eyes truly are the mirror of one's soul. They open his soul. If his eyes show, then his soul will be shown to the world as well. So he better keep that close. And so does he. However, his true intentions are often the same as the ones under the mask. So do not expect to find a completely different character. His soul might be pathetic and sadder and, you might say, less dramatic sometimes. However, it does not change the fact that he truly is an asshole and he will do the same things he does with the mask without it. After what I said and how I am effectively enjoying his suffering, you may call me sadistic. I might be a little bit, however, I am but treating him how he pretty much treated all of the people in my words and ruining effectively what I was working upon. He is finding the consequences of his own actions, and I, to be fair, think this role switch up is one of the closest ways to drill into his head the concept of treating others the way you'd like to be treated. Or not. I personally do not believe he will learn. However, I do not care, for this will just allow me to do more things to him. You know, the quicker he learns, the faster he will leave this prison. The faster the puppet will be able to cut their strings. Oh, this also allows me to do some extra stuff, practice, etc, etc, and you know what? Do whatever you want with him as well. Turn him into a puppet of your own. Do whatever you wish to him. You know? His name was originally Quasar. Now he is the writer. Yet the writer is getting written all over. I find this ironic. Which is quite funny, actually.